You're like a circle that floats around me, keeping me safe and sound. And when I fall, you tied a rope to me. You're blessing me every day. I was down with an illusion, like a sparrow with broken wings. But now I shine with your reflection on me. I'm getting back up on my feet. That you showed up was written in my palm. You are a statement, explode like a bomb. I get to push myself to victory. You make me winner. You cut me loose and set me free. You make me win in every way. You showed me how to spread my wings. Yes, I'm the winner of the day. You cut me loose and set me free. You make me win in every way. You showed me how to spread my wings. Yes, I'm the winner of the day. Yes, I'm the winner, yeah. 'Cause I'm the winner, yes. Am I awake or am I dreaming? So far gone,
Right? Just so overwhelmed about what it is going to hold for us, but at the same time, it's coming, and it is here. And so I've been thinking about, how do we wrap this up? What do we need? Quarter 4 is like getting back to basic, getting organized. Some people say, well, if you have not created your plan, it may be too late because, you got to get out the door ahead of time. But it's never too late. It's never too late to learn, to put procrastination behind you. It's never too late to grow and develop. Come get organized with us with these last 6 weeks in the year. And last week we talked about reflection, thinking back. And if you feel like you're so overwhelmed and you don't have enough time, you do. You have enough time to get something on paper. You have enough time to execute. You have enough time to find solutions to your issues. You have enough time to find solutions to solving a problem. Know that. So let's embrace positive stuff these next 6 weeks and get organized. And I tell you, time management is so very important, and what you do with that time. You got 24 hours in the day. So if we think about it like this, if we really truly get 8 hours worth of sleep, we're really down to this 16 hours. And so we have 16 hours. They would say, if we have to leave and travel for work, we have to back that out. But if we working from home still, that's a small commute. And so you have a little bit more time. But what are you doing with that time? Really? Are we getting a little laid back, a little lazy because of holiday? We want to go ahead and just take some time off. Are we just burnt out? Ready to what? Just relax and not think, not look at a laptop, not look at a computer, not have no client ask us for anything. Just think about what is going on with us. Could you just be burnt out? And if so, we need to talk about self-care and what that needs to look like. So today's show is about talking about whatever makes you whole and whatever you need to do to not only get through the next 6 weeks of this year, but how you get motivated. Because it's always about back to basics. We have taken on so many different technologies. Think about this. How many of you, when you wake up in the morning, you grab your phone? before you do anything, you just want to be connected. What would happen if you don't put the phone in the bedroom with you? Or you put it way across the room, which forces you to have to get up, and hopefully you stay up. Why are we so attached to this phone, strolling and looking and seeing, and we are spending so much time that's not in our day activities or growing our company or our mental self or our self-care or our family or our spiritual belief or our financial? What are we doing, people? What are we doing here? We got to get off this treadmill. And so I just want to just talk to you about what it would take to get off the treadmill. What happened in the past is great for reflecting and looking at, so you won't repeat it in the future or right now. But you cannot live back there. You have to move forward. The only thing you want to bring into now is the positive, good, great things that's happening. So let me ask you a question. Have you completed your reflection that we talked about last week? Have you taken out time to reflect on you? So I was having this discussion with my daughter, and I asked her this question. If you would take 2024 and take the whole year and just work on you being happy, what would that look like? If you would just take that year just for you. And some of us, I'm hearing say, well, I got children. I have a husband. I have another person in the house. I have a mom. I have this. So you look how you have already came up with what you have, which that is true. But what if you would take 2024 and work on you being happy? Look at all the benefits everyone else will have. Let's think about it. Think about all the benefits everyone else will have by you just taking care of you. If you would just say, I am going to be happy in 2024. I'm going to embrace me for a change. That's not selfish. That is giving the best of you. Because when you are happy, everybody around you benefit. So pick up you in 2024. And whatever you do, your children, your husband, your partner, your mom, whatever's going on with the other stuff around you will fall in place. Something else I want you to do. I want you to take a paper plate, and I want to say, what's on your plate? And I want you to write down everything that's on your plate, that's on you. And I want you to dump it on this plate. Everything. Don't leave out nothing. Don't. It doesn't matter how large it is, how small it is. Make sure you put it down, because I'm going to tell you something. Those little things end up being big and bigger and bigger. Put down everything on your plate. Is your religious important to you, your spiritual being? Is your self-care important to you? Is education going back to get another degree so you could get more income? It's that important to you. It's your children, your husband, your mom, walking, running, eating healthy, self-care, self-worth. What is important to you? Your sorority, your fraternity. Put all of that down. All of these community environments that you need to put that on a plate. And when you do that, I want you to just pick it up, look at it, say, why is all of this on my plate? And you'll find out so many times we never put ourselves on our plate. We just do not do that. We put everyone else, everything else. We are living the life that we do not even want sometimes, because we believe this is the best we can do at this given time. But that is not so. You have an opportunity to organize whatever's on your plate and to remove it for 2024. If it is running all over the place, like gravy runs when you're trying to put it on the potatoes, it finds its way throughout the plate of touching other vegetables and food. I want you to think about, maybe you don't need that on your plate. Let's think about things that's running all the way around. Like gravy, when it moves around. Number one, take that off your plate, because it's everywhere. You can't keep it in one location. And it just start bit by bit. And then the next one I want you to do is get a piece of paper. Look at all the stuff that's left over and take them one at a time and say, does this make me happy? Will this make me happy in 24? And what do I need to do for this to be my happiness? And if you can't answer those questions and write them down, put that back on your plate. Then pick something else up and go through that same process. Because the goal is for 2024. What makes you happy? And become a seeker of that, because that is what's going to help you become the best you, reach your financial goals, and it's going to help you figure out what you're going to have to do and sacrifice or not do to get there. And I believe you can do it. I know you can do it. I know that we believe we may need accountability people, but sometimes your accountability partner has to start with yourself. See, it's like the old saying, be true to yourself or you don't be true to nobody else. Be accountable to yourself before you become accountable to anyone else. It's hard work to work on yourself. It is hard work to work on yourself. We have self-denial. We don't want to face ourselves. We find reasons to excuses to not accept certain things. But in 2024, Plan to Prosper podcast is committed to help you become the best you. And so we're going to be showing up every Tuesday, same time, same space at 7 p.m. We our company, going to have to do better too. We have allowed other things to creep into this time. And so now we are looking at that. We're like, oh my goodness, it creeped into our time. And then we start making excuse after excuse. And guess what? Next week is Thanksgiving. We're going to go on vacation on Tuesday. We're going to have you a nice rerun. And it may be this, it may be something else, but we'll be here. Showing up when you're supposed to show up. Doing what you need to do. Embracing change and direction. Getting organized is the first step, and having some time management to make that happen. So that's number one. Number two, let's see, help you learn how long everything really takes. And been thinking about this podcast today is, how long does stuff take? Do you do the hardest thing first or the easiest things first? Now, research has said you need to do the hardest thing first. Some say you need to do the easiest. So if I have 10 items to complete, for me, let me check off the small stuff and let me go ahead and get that done. Because if I start with the big things, it may consume the whole day. Now, that's my style. And you have to understand your style. So I'd rather check off all the small stuff and get to that big project, because when I get there, I want to be in that space and not be concerned about, oh my goodness, I got to hurry up. There's 6 more items left to do. There's 5 more items. So I like to write down all of my things I need to accomplish that day. And then I want to look at them and rank them in order. And then I just want to start checking them out. Do you know, as well as we love this brain, we are better when we write things down and have a list beside us checking off. One is a reward system that you can see that line go through it. 2, it keeps you focused. And so when you, besides you strolling the phone and spending time on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all those great platforms, take some time to say, let me get my day together. And then allow me to lay down. And if I fall asleep, that's fantastic. If I don't, then maybe I may get the phone. But if you've been on that phone all day long, give your mind a break and meditate. Spend some quiet time with self, because that is the only way you can discover who you are. No technology can help you discover who you are until you start sitting with yourself and spending time with yourself. And really dealing deep and say, you know what, I don't like this about me. And I need to change this. Because not only do others don't like it, but I don't like it. And we also can think about it that you can say, I love this about me. So let me do more of this, because others will benefit also. So that's a twofold approach to everything. But always be honest with yourself about who you are, your limitations. If you're wondering why is it you're not where you desire to be, sit with yourself and be honest with yourself. And you're going to learn why. And when we find ourselves wanting to say, well, if this person would, nope, it's not that person would. If you would have went another direction, because that that person's going to say no or do more for you. So just sit with yourself on that. The next is reduce the tendency of procrastination. Now I'm going to tell you, we can procrastinate, can't we? And we can tell ourselves some of the best things, but why not to do it? We could do it tomorrow. We could do it later on. We could do it next week. Nobody knows. And then when you go and look at your income, you're so frustrated that you are not making the amount of money that you can make because of that. It's just procrastination. That is not something anyone else can force you to do but you. You are the sole owner of procrastination. You can't say, well, if my children wouldn't call me. And then when you start not making up, when you start when you start not being straightforward with yourself to why. And truthful with yourself to why. Look at your bank account. It tells you why. Next is avoid those time sucker traps. Oh my goodness. There's some things you do that you know is going to just take too much time. And one we probably have not thought through yet. So let me give you an example. You can wash dishes, wash clothes, and mop all at the same time. You put the dishes in the dishwasher, push the button. You put a load of clothes in the laundry, push the button. And now you're mopping. When you finish mopping, guess what? Either the load of clothes is finished or maybe the dishwasher. You see how you manage 3 activities in a given time. Sometimes we want to declutter our house. Now for me, I get so overwhelmed when I try to do the whole entire house at one day. So I came up with this system. I'm only going to do one thing a day, with the exception of Saturday and Sunday. So I wanted to clean a room. So I started, usually your bedroom uses the last room you do. So I said, okay, in this bedroom, I'm only going to clean this dresser. That's it. Even if I have some additional time, I'm not going to use it. No, I'm going to use it reading or doing something else, but I'm not going to do that. And so I went from room to room throughout my house. Now, that was just to get it organized. And so next I'm saying, hey, I'm going to do now, look at the dresser. So I'm going to do one side of the dresser. It's a small dresser. A day. Or I'm only going to do 2 drawers a day. Or 1 a day. But the goal is do small of it so it won't be overwhelmed. And by the end of the week, I would have been finished decluttering the whole entire room. Then move to the next room and then move to the next room. Now, in reality, you can accomplish a lot doing something simple as that. It's a small task. But when you take on a task, I'm going to do the whole house this weekend. You're exhausted. You got to go back to work. And now you're frustrated. Look at that the same way when you take on work. Figure out what it is and divide it up to get a greater outcome. Okay, so the next one is opportunities. What are some of the opportunities that you can have by time management? Well, one of the opportunities you can have, you'll have more time for self-care for yourself. Time, some people may say self-care is, I'm going to watch a lot of TV. For me, self-care is meditating, sitting with myself, going to get a massage, walking and feeling the wind on my face. What is it that from all your hard work of time management that you can carve out some time just for yourself? So also have opportunities that it will bring for you. Give your freedom and control. I think that's so very important. Having your freedom and control over your own decisions, and even if that include making a decision that involve others. Sometimes we need to make we make decisions that involve others, is to have a conversation with them. And know thyself first, know what your situation is, know how to approach it. But having that conversation with someone else may help diffuse any misunderstanding, getting their buy-in, their opinion on what you are getting ready to do in a major issue. So, example is you want a new car. Your husband's like, "Nah, I think we need to wait. Don't go out there and get that car. Let's see if y'all can come up with a date. Now we're gonna get this car. We ain't gonna get it today, but 3 months from now, can you work with me?" And so you have to just figure out the push and the pull behind that. And what it helps to avoid so many conflicts. That's a stressor, especially in business. You just understand, if you're in business, you're going to have a lot of conflict that you have never thought of. You have clients, you have customers, you have vendors, you have a lot of people you have to deal with, and they're going to be conflict because they're bringing their stuff to the table. And so if it's early in the morning and you're thinking, "Hey, look, we're supposed to have this 9 o'clock conference call, and this person don't get on, it's 9:15, and now they call you and say, 'Look, I was running behind. I need you to hop on the call now.'" And you are like, "No, I don't wait 15 minutes. You have to wait a little bit of grace. And if it's not going to offset your day completely, and if they're not wanting to do this on a regular basis, you have to say, "You know what, let's give some grace today. One day it may be me, that they don't do it that often." You have to really talk positive to yourself about that. And I think that will help so many people. And you want to stop feeling guilty. Oh my goodness. Can we not stop feeling guilty? We'll feel guilty if we at our children baseball game and our boss called and want us to send something, and you're like, you hear that heart, and you feel guilty because you need to do it, but you don't want your child to look in the audience and see mom is still working. So you take that deep breath and try to figure out how to do both. I've seen so many times parents at basketball games, football games, soccer games, places where they're just on technology trying to get the last bit in or do, that they miss some of the best times of their lives. So it's so very important that you find ways that you don't have to feel guilty about it. Evaluation on your progress. Have you ever thought about evaluating yourself? How am I doing? When you go to your bank account, and if your bank account, when you're in business for yourself, doesn't reflect what you believe it should, you need to step back across there and say, I need to check in with myself. I need to find out for myself what is going on. Go back to time management, go back to systems, go back to do I do this work? What am I doing? If your bank account don't reflect what it is that you believe it should look like, you need to go back to yourself and sit with yourself and put in the work to achieve what you want. See, there is no shortage of money in the United States of America or in any country. You have to figure out how to get to it and do it on a way that is going to generate wealth for you. If you don't have a business plan, and a lot of companies don't and do well, but a lot of companies that don't sink in a pothole of sand. So you have to decide, do I want to gamble and maybe in that sand? Maybe I won't be one of those lucky ones when you need to borrow money, you don't know your financial statement. All of that makes a difference. So I'm just saying now, and a business plan can be 5 pages if you start up. It may end up being 2 or 3, but you got to get something down. And you have to have all the components in place. You have to have a starting point to where you did get something. Seek professional help. Have that in your budget. Google is fine. Chat is great. But guess what? It ain't going to get you all you think it should. Especially to college students that's using that Chat GPT. There's a system that would tell your professors that you're using it, that these are not your thoughts, your ideas. So you can't cheat the progress because you're going to need to use it one day. I know. It's good for what it's supposed to be for, but you yourself have to do some work. And you need to evaluate it on a regular basis. So 2024 is about evaluating your progress daily until you perfect what you're looking for in your bank account. Now, does that mean you need to be a workaholic, not an alcoholic, a workaholic? Does that mean you need to be a workaholic? No. Does that mean you don't spend time with your family? No. All it is saying is use your time wisely. Look at time management. If you don't have any systems in place, that right there is a time sucker. And if you truly have not sit down and mapped out how you're going to make money, and you just doing something every day, and stop buying so many products that you're not using, you're not investing in, you're not seeing how I can move to the next level. Please stop buying all the products. Use the ones that you have. If you could just use them and perfect them, you're going to make just as much money. But people say you need a CRM system. You don't need 5 or 6 CRM systems. You don't need 2. But if you're going to get that system, what are you going to do with it? Is it going to generate your money? And can you use it? Are you going to have to get someone to help you implement it? All of that makes a difference. Oh, I like this one. The big picture. Are you a big picture person, small picture person, medium picture person? So I think one should be all 3. I think you need to zone in to what is right here in front of you and expand out to the medium and then become the big picture person. Or you could become the big picture person and zone in again. But I think that you should think more than just staying in this little circle. Because if you stay in that circle, you can't grow and thrive and become the best person you need to be. And how do you become a big person thinker? Go to your bank account and look at it. That's a motivation. People are in business, look at your bottom line. If you go over there every day, you look at it, it's going to speak to you. It's going to say, you got to do something different. Are you using your time wisely? Time management. Look at your bank account. Zero in. Now, I'm going to share this with you. I love Starbucks. I can go to Starbucks every day and buy the same thing over and over again. Love it. But do you know how much Starbucks is costing me? The money that I'm spending on going through drive-through, I could invest in Starbucks stock. And so when people ask me what do I want for a gift, I can tell them Starbucks gift cards. That way I'm not taking my money to take care of pleasure that I love. But all the money I was going to use to spend at Starbucks, I can now invest it on Starbucks. I had someone to show me that. They do financial literacy. I was so impressed with it. I was like, okay. Because really, I can make those medicine balls myself. They may not taste as good as theirs. But guess what? At the price they charge. And I multiplied that times 7 days, times 4 weeks. That's a lot of money. Times 12 months. Look how much stock that I could have in my portfolio, my retirement. We have to think different to get different results. So the show tonight was about time management, thinking different, encouraging you to look at your bank account and say, what do I want that to look like in 2024? And at the end of every week, what does that need to look like? You got to get really consistent and dedicated to make sure that you get what you deserve out of life. And you can only do that by doing the work. tonight is like a aha for many of us. Some of us are gonna say, "Well, I know that," but as I this show is for you, but it's also for me. It's just as much for me as it is for you, because it's named Plan to Prosper, and we have to plan to do that every single day. Do I want to retire and I have to make a mortgage payment? I do not want to do that. Mm-mm. I just want to pay my basic living expense, and a mortgage of a house is not one of those. Do I want to make a car payment? Mm-mm. Don't want to do that. I want to take that money and travel and live a different lifestyle. Then I need to do something different if I want to do that. So every week when I go over here and look at my bank account, I need to say, how much more money do I need to live the lifestyle that I'm looking to forward to retirement? And what does that look like? When you start asking yourself those hard questions, you're going to find out that you're going to have to do some work. And it is okay to do that hard work. Just like you learn bad habits, you can increase your good habits. And so next week is Thanksgiving. And I want to say we're going to give thanks for being able to sit with ourselves, make a change for ourselves, and focus on what it would feel like or be like in 2024 if we chose happiness for ourselves over procrastination, over poor time management. And we look at our bank account, it will reflect the lifestyle we want, we desire, and we need. I am Sharon Campbell, your host for tonight. I hope that you got something out of this. I am looking forward to joining you back in the end of this month. And we'll have about 5 weeks left. And we're going to dig deep, finish way ahead of the game. There's some great topics to talk about and to share with you. And if you'll do the work, it will happen. I want to thank Mark Lee, our producer of the show, the engineer that makes everything runs right. Pod TV, thank you so very much. We are on Amazon, LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, as well as Roku and some other platforms that Mark has a phone. And without his help, we would not be able to reach 200 countries. I want everyone to be safe during the holiday. Be careful out there on those roads in the airway. But most important, enjoy yourself and be good to you this holiday. I'll see you in 2 weeks. Have a very good night.